I'm Amy. Welcome to the kitchen at the Blue OK. Today we're making raw vanilla chocolate chip cherry ice cream. And this is a great recipe if you feel like you might have to give up ice cream on the raw foods diet, because you don't. You can make it out of coconut or cashew or any combination of the two, which is what we're using today. A little bit of coconut meat, some coconut water, a little bit of coconut oil, some agave nectar, cashews, pinch of salt, a little bit of vanilla. It's actually the vanilla bean that's scraped out. That's for that, so you get the little seeds. And then some fresh cherries and chocolate chips. Today I'm actually using pieces of raw chocolate that I cut up into little pieces to make chocolate chips. So that's a way you can make your own raw chocolate chips, is take our chocolate recipe off the website and cut it up into little pieces and you'll have chocolate chips. And I'm using fresh cherries today because they're in season where I am, but you could use frozen cherries if you couldn't get fresh cherries for this recipe. And I actually like to smash them up just a little bit so you get some cherry juice to color your ice cream a little bit, because cherry juice makes a beautiful color in ice cream. So that's just a little tip for you. What we're going to do is set those off to the side because we're going to add them a little bit later, but everything else just gets mixed in a high-speed blender so that you get a batter to make the ice cream out of, or a milk to make the ice cream out of. So we're going to go ahead with that. You can put your coconut meat right into the blender and add all of your liquids right in. And because the coconut meat is so soft, it's just going to blend right up with the agave, the coconut oil, and the coconut water. And then I usually add the cashew in a little bit later, the cashew, salt, and vanilla bean. So first, we're just going to make sure we get the coconut meat well blended, then we'll move on. You can start it off on low just to get it kind of churning, and then we'll whip it up onto a high speed and really get it blended and add the cashews and do the same thing. Right, next thing we're going to do is add the cashew right in and get that mixed up very well as well. So start it off on the low speed and then whip it on to high. All right, and you'll be able to see from the texture of this that it's nice and thick. It actually looks much like a cream that you would make regular ice cream out of. And I just want to add the salt and the vanilla, and then I'm going to taste it to make sure I like the flavor of it before I put it into the ice cream maker. And the vanilla bean just gives it that really nice quality that you find in good quality vanilla ice creams, where you get the vanilla bean in there, and it's just a beautiful flavor and color for your ice cream. So one short blend just to blend those last ingredients through, and then you can just taste your mixture and make sure that you like it, like the flavor of it. Make sure it's sweet enough and that the texture's good. You want to make sure all those cashew pieces are blended up. Very nice. Sometimes I use a little less agave if I want the ice cream to be not so sweet, or if I'm adding something to it that is already sweet, like a sweet fruit. If I'm using a bitter ingredient like chocolate to make chocolate ice cream, I use that full amount of agave. So it's really nice to taste it each time and make sure that you've got it the way you like it. So as I said, you're just going to want to set the chocolate chips and cherries aside for now, because we're going to add those once we get the ice cream maker going a little bit. And then we're going to move this ice cream maker right over to the front here, where you can see that we're just going to start the ice cream maker turning and pour the mixture right in. So turn your ice cream maker on, and in it goes. And you'll see it's liquid enough that you should be able to get most of it just to pour right in. So we're going to let that churn around for about a half an hour and come back, and while it's still on its last motions, we're going to add our cherries and our chocolate chips. So I'll see you back here in a few minutes. Hi, we're back, and we've got the ice cream freezing up right inside our ice cream maker, and it's time to add the chocolate chips and the cherries. So I'm just going to start putting them in. Sometimes you need to use your hand a little bit to mix it through with a spoon if your paddle inside the ice cream maker has stopped turning. Well, we're going to go ahead and try. Here go the cherries. And since this batch is already freezing up so quickly, I'm just going to turn it once with a spoon to kind of distribute some of the cherries through there. And I'm going to do the same thing for my chocolate chips. Just add them right in. Twirl the spoon through there. Kind of scrape along the side a little bit to get some of the ice cream off. And then I'm just going to turn the ice cream maker on and let it kind of do its thing for about 30 seconds to get it mixed back in. Sometimes you just have to loosen some of the ice cream off of the paddle to get it to make that motion again. So on with the lid. I'm going to turn it on for a few seconds, and then scoop out some ice cream. There we go. So that's starting to look like ice cream to me. I've got a big frozen piece of ice cream right in the middle of the paddle here. And we're going to scoop that out. You can scoop it, just, take it off of the paddle in the middle right into the bowl. And then from here, your ice cream's actually ready to eat. You can eat this just like this. It's a little bit soft, but certainly frozen. And you can also put it in the freezer, and it will harden up a little bit if you prefer it a little bit more firm. But it's just so delicious, fresh out of the ice cream maker, that it's hard to resist. At least having a small bowl fresh out of the ice cream maker. So make sure you get as much off of it as you can, because these are precious ingredients. Usually you have to open a couple coconuts to get enough meat to make your ice cream. So it makes it a kind of a treat to maybe something you don't do too often, but unless you have coconuts at your access easily. But once you make it, you want to get as much out of there as you can. So you can take a nice scoop of it and put it right into a bowl, or you can use, the little plastic container or something, or glass container. I guess not glass if you're putting it in the freezer, but a plastic container or a cardboard carton to put in the freezer for the rest of it. But here's a couple bowls right here, just for you to see what it looks like fresh out of the ice cream maker. And of course, I can't resist trying it to make sure it's as delicious as it looks. It's incredible. You will love this ice cream, I promise. I don't see how you could not. It's delicious. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them right here on the website for me. And remember, the eating gorilla always comes in peace.